Welcome back to this Jack. I'm assuming you can hear me. Alright, this is my first time doing something like this, so hopefully everything goes okay. Alright, y'all might be seeing a weird screen right now, because this is my first time setting up for this. Because I dual monitor my editing, I have to, have the screen set up weird, and hopefully, and if you guys need me to adjust it so you guys can see what I'm doing better, let me know. I needed to get some editing done, and I figured I'd do some editing on camera, because that way you guys get to, if anybody who's been wanting to learn, see what I do, y'all be able to hit me up. So, this video is going to be one that I'm going to try and release later today, so you also might get to see me do some thumbnail making. So right now what I'm doing is I've got a sequence preset up to the way I like it, 1920 by 1080. That's what most YouTube videos are. Also what the thumbnails usually are. However, if you're going to do a short, I have a second one called TikTok. It's also a YouTube short format, which is 1080 by 1920, so it is more on the vertical side. So I like using presets. So I have my preset made. I gave it a name. Here we go. Now, something I'll do additionally to make things easier on me and keep this workflow useful, I make a second one called Workspace. Workspace's sole job is for me to be able to drop in any B-roll I'm doing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just because I have light behind me. There we go. Any B-roll that I have, I could drop the whole thing in there, and then trim out the sections that I want and move it over, instead of dropping all the B-roll onto the same sequence, and then just having to scroll back and forth all over the place. Instead, I could just jump back and forth. That's something I feel that really speeds up the process. Now, I've done something different with this editing process, and you'll see what it is really fast. So spoilers, how I record is, the camera I'm talking to right now, I record the video. It has no audio, just pure video. And that's what I just dropped in. I look funny, don't I? And then I record the audio through OBS separately. Now, because I have to start them, there's like a second or two difference between the starting time. I have to align them. Align my speaking. Now, I don't know why this one went on as long as it did. Did I forget to start talking? Oh, I know what happened. I think I know what happened. I think with this one, I actually forgot to unmute myself, and then I realized it, so I started the recording again. So let's and you'll actually get to see my my little soundboard that I enjoy using. No, this is the front-facing audio. Yeah, because there's the side-facing, but I named the audio wrong. I did, because you can actually look at the lengths of the audio difference. So, okay, we're going to move that over. So I named them wrong. Okay, there we go. So that one goes there. So once again, this is me trying something entirely different than what I normally do. So what I was talking about earlier must have been when I was doing my political video that I got to edit too. Alright. Now I'm just getting rid of all the duplicates. Hey Amber, how's it going? Alright, so this is effectively the same video twice. The only difference between the two is, one, I am forward-facing, how you kind of see me now. And then this one I do from a side angle, and I do that for a very specific reason. The idea being, when I need to enunciate something, I recorded it separately so I can splice that in. And then I have all my B-roll over here that's going to go into Workspace. Now, I accidentally made 2 sets of B-roll, which is not a bad thing. Keep existing. And then B-roll version 2. There we go. Alright, so what's going on with you today, Amber? Alright, now we got to align the video with the audio. Now, as you said before, you see me with my little sound clacker. I have to... There. That's when I bring it down, and that's where you can see the audio spike. There we go, yeah. I'm here. I needed to get some work done, so I figured I would edit. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up my... I have several openers for my... That's a bit better. I might have to tilt it back up. I don't like the fact that that light is like right in the shot and it's really freaking bright. My hair's so messy, even in that picture. It's like one of the things I hate about my hair. But anyway, I have a collection of assets. I don't know if you guys can see it on screen. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. No, you can't. Okay, cool. I have a collection of assets of pre-made stuff that I like to use or green screen stuff. And for my Elden Ring videos, I have one specifically. Here it is. I command thee. There you go. All right, so we got that done. Now I need to do some audio. Like, I haven't even started listening to it yet. There's a lot of presets I'm taking advantage of, and this is just to help my voice. And I'm also going to do some repair in the background. Yeah, y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to hit reduce noise. And the reason I'm doing that is, like, there's a fan that's behind me right now, and it makes a lot of noise. And if it shows, I just try not to have that as a background noise, because a bad audio in a video can really mess with you. All right. So now I've done that. Now it comes down to me having to get rid of the empty space. So you see these sections between where I'm talking. These are actually, I want to play with my contrast a little bit. By the way, you're going to get to see a lot of like really funny facial expressions from me, because I'll be pausing it at random times. All right, we're going to go in here. We're going to see if I'm going to play with the contrast just a little bit. I'm going to bring down the brightness. That already looks a bit better. And then we're going to up the contrast. That looks a lot better. See, you got a really funny facial expression too. But yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm actually in a better mood than I've been in the past couple days. I've been in a pretty, I'm going to say foul mood. I'm going to zoom back out. I've been in a pretty foul mood. Like, ranging between depressed and pissed off about a few things going on in my life. And at this point, whatever. I'm just going to keep trucking along like I always do. So right now, without even listening to the actual audio, what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of all these blank spots, because there's nothing going on in these scenes. They're usually like me stopping to look over at the script I've got, because when I do coffee over gaming videos, 90% of the time there's a script. In my coffee over politics videos, for that matter, there's usually a script, and the script is very generic. It's just this is what I say, and then sometimes I'll make sure that a specific line is done as an aside, which you'll see what an aside looks like here in a second. It's actually something new I'm doing. So right now we're just going through. Let me expand the audio. There we go. So now you can see the audio lines a lot better. We're just going to go through. Once again, I'm still not even listening or watching the video itself. Just going through, trimming out these sections where I had to stop to look at the script. Yeah. No, I get that. Trust me, especially with how my week's been, I get that. Actually, I'm going to link these two, because it makes the cutting, this section of cutting, because there's a lot of steps I follow, and I do it in a very methodical pattern. You'll see what I'm talking about. Why did I do that again? Oh, I actually restarted. I didn't remember I restarted. I thought I may have been muted. Why did I restart? I don't even remember why I restarted. Oh, yeah, now I remember. All right, so that's all garbage right there. Because I started walking away from script, and I had decided because I'm doing the side shots, I need to stick as close as I can to the script, and so I decided to just restart and go all over again. That's why. Because I do have a habit of going off script if left to my own devices. I shot this like yesterday when I was in a very bad mood. So I get a lot more productive when I'm in a bad mood. Especially if that bad mood is powered by spite. See, right now, once again, I'm just going through, looking for all these big breaks in dialogue. And if I cut something I shouldn't have, I can always add it back in pretty easily. Right now, I'm just trying to find them all, give them a good cut. See, this right here is probably not even an actual statement. It's probably actually like me having started something and then stopped. And there's going to be a couple times where I'll say a sentence and then without even stopping to take a breath, start over the sentence. Because I do that. I don't know if I should be doing this where I like edit, like stream how I edit. Probably get some editing snobs will come in and say you should be doing this instead. I'm like, no, this is the way I do it. But I figured I have enough friends, people in the community who want to learn how to do their own video editing, and I can kind of show them like my process, and they might be able to. They might decide to start doing it themselves. Yeah. My bad mood came from a collection of people. A lot of people who are in my inner circle seem to simultaneously let me down, and or I felt attacked by them. Let's phrase it that way. And it kind of just tore me down. Like the first couple days, I was a bit depressed. Didn't really want to do any. Didn't really want to like engage with anything, any work or anything. And then after that, spite kicked in. And so yesterday I was mostly pissed off most of the day. Yesterday and the day before, I think. I was pissed off, and then now I'm kind of back to neutral. It's whatever, I'm going to keep trucking along. Alright. So that's the first video all cut up. Like, I was literally just getting rid of the dead space. Here is the second video. Same video, it's from the same script and everything, just this one has me at a different angle, and I started doing this because you'll see. But it's meant for like when I want to suddenly zoom in on me, like, and then, you know, that kind of thing. So let me take a sip of my coffee. All right, so now we got to go through and did I delete the? Yeah, I did. Okay, let me move all this over to the right just a little bit. Drop this into place and then bring that back in. There we go. All right, so let's see here. Welcome back. This is Jack. Yep. I am going to. Now, this is something I started doing. As I actually start the video a little faster than it should be. Like, I actually cut off the beginning of some of the videos. You'll see. Watch. Welcome back. See, that even that was too fast. Or not fast enough. Welcome back. This is Jack. And then I'll also end them prematurely. I could be in the middle of this same enunciation and still move on to the next one. That's why you'll see a lot of my videos have that faster paced rhythm to it. It's because I'm actually trimming out some of the syllables I'm doing. Alright, just getting rid of that one because there's a lot of dead space there. If you saw this video... Now... So that one might get switched over to my side view, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. Right now, I'm just going to trim these out separately.
If you saw
that one can be cut out. Because that was a second take.
If you saw this video, you already know that I like the ant spur rapier. One of the few scarlet
Yep, I messed up on that one. So now we're going through and listening for all my outtakes.
One of the few scarlet rot weapons that you can actually change out the Ash of War, allowing for some crazy customization.
There we go. That one looks like it's the correct one.
I think I found my favorite version of this build.
This is probably going to be the side cut. This is probably going to be. We're going to move, just as a marker for myself, I'm going to move it up like that.
If you add, as your offhand weapon, the frozen needle.
Nope, that one I'm not going to use. I can almost guarantee you that's one of the outtakes.
If you add, as your offhand weapon, the frozen needle, it adds ice to the damage combination.
Okay, that might be the correct one. We'll see in a second. I have about 48 working days till vacation, so I have to get through things. Oh, go take care of that. I'm going to be here chilling.
So even following just the previous
that works.
It allows for some crazy damage.
That might not be the correct follow-up.
So even following the
Yep.
original build, it makes into a nice combo.
Doesn't seem right.
Worth noting,
Okay, yeah, that was the right one.
the frozen needle does not use smithing stones, instead uses somber smithing stones, allowing you not to have competing resources between the frozen needle and the ant spur rapier, because the ant spur rapier uses smithing stones.
I don't think that's the one I end up going with.
Now that I've explained that, let's get to the build.
Okay, that's definitely going to be one of the side cuts. So we're going to move that one over.
You can apply the Ash of War. You can apply the Ash of War.
See, right there is an example of when I repeat myself because I'm restarting the sentence.
You can apply the Ash of War.
Since I do my own editing. Yeah, there we go. Since I do my own editing, I can usually remember what I did in the video.
You can apply the Ash of War, Flame of the Red Maidens.
I don't even think I used this one.
You can apply the Ash of War, the Flames of the Red Maidens, to the ant spur rapier.
See, that was like, because I was having such trouble with that line, saying it my normal pacing, that I just
would give it fire.
There we go. You can hear me starting to say it very much more methodically instead of my more rapid-paced way of talking. It's because I'm trying not to futz up the line. Usually it takes about 3 takes before I start talking like that. Now, I might use the side cut for that one.
Though if you have a whetstone, you can actually change it to whatever you want. You can give it poison, bleed, what.
I don't think I use that one. I think I use this one because I explain more of
If you have a whetstone, you'll be able to change that secondary damage to whatever you want, such as bleed, poison, allowing for either burst damage or DOT, depending on what you want to do.
Okay, that looks like the one I ended up going with.
The reason for the Flame of the Red Maidens is twofold.
I don't think I do that one.
First, it has an amazing stagger, taking only 2 to 3 hits to knock most things into a critical state where you're able to backstab them, or just continue attacking them so you can apply your Scarlet Rot, Poison, Bleed, Frost damage, whatever.
I don't think that's the one I go with.
The reason for the Flame of the Red Maidens is twofold. The first is it takes 2 to 3 hits to stagger most enemies, even bosses.
That's actually a side cut that is buried in there, so let me go ahead and give that a quick cut out. And then raise it up so I can spot it later.
In a vulnerable state, you're able to do your backstab or continuously attack them so you get to reapply your Scarlet Rot, Poison, Frost, Bleed, whatever you have done to this weapon combination.
There we go. That one looks right.
The second reason for the Flame of the Red Maiden, it does fire damage. Now initially this may not seem like a big deal because only a handful of things are actually weak to fire. However, The second reason for the flame of the red mains is it does. The second reason for the flame of the red mains is it does fire damage.
Another example
which
of me
removes
restarting.
the debuff of frost once it is fully built up. The reason you want to do that is because it'll allow you to rebuild it up and do that burst damage again. So you will have the burst damage of ice and possibly bleed if you really want to. There is a vague third reason. Thrusting weapons are not really good at dealing.
That's going to be just a straight cutout because the transition between the two sentences just doesn't work.
Dealing with groups of enemies. However, with Flame of the Red Mains, you're able to hit a burst of people and therefore able to stagger them, hopefully.
There we go.
If you prefer instead, you can use both in your main hand and switch between the two depending on what damage you want to apply, and then have a shield in your offhand. And as it is a thrusting weapon, you actually never need to come out from behind your shield and able to do some good counter thrusts.
Yeah.
This one roughly uses the same talismans as the previous video to buff up your damage and make it mo better. However, you can add on top of it some of the assassin daggers, as you will stagger them a lot and be able to do backsteps. You can get both some health regain and some FP regain. If you have suggestions for alterations to this build, go ahead and hit that comment section down below. If you have suggestions for this build and you want to alter it, if you have suggestions for this build, there is that comment section down below. You can leave a comment. But if you also think that you can leave a comment.
Something I started doing is I'll add a completely off-topic question as part of like my sign-off, just to mess with people. Hey, Gothic. So like right here where
If you also think Let Me Solo Her should be a boss in a future game, leave a comment down below.
like right there, because it's so off the wall, it's so weird. Like, oh, okay, he's signing off. What? Oh wait, what? That's the whole point for that segment. I'll also sometimes say, hey, check out this video right here.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe so I can see you in the next video. Take care.
Right there. And there we go. So that's the initial cut of the video. It's all segmented out. It's all broken up. Now here's the exact same video right here, except for shot from a different angle. And it's done for very specific spots. And as you saw earlier, I actually separated out the ones that caught my attention, that needed it. So now we just got to go find that line. Now I could have easily just wrote out in the script which lines I kind of wanted to be asides, which I do. I wanted to see what it's like if I actually have it as two separate ones. So,
Welcome back. This is Jack. If you saw this video,
okay, the dialogue's actually a little off. Hang on, let me adjust that. Yeah, I see how much it's off. Yeah, that's pretty far off. If I do it right there, it should be good.
welcome back. This is Jack.
I'm having a hard time looking at the this up here instead of down at the lens.
If you saw this video, you already know I like the Anspur Rapier. It is one of the few weapons that naturally does Scarlet Rot, and you can change out the Astral Ward, allowing for some really scary combinations.
I'm gonna do something different with this video than what I was expecting. I want to test something out. So we're going to let me link everything up. And I think I'm also going to play with the contrast here, because that golden yellow bullshit, it just is not doing it for me. Also, I need to probably adjust the dialogue, or adjust my voice for it. Subtle boost male, and we're gonna hit up repair. Reduce noise. There we go. And now we're going to adjust the brightness and contrast. What's going on in the Gothic's life today? it's too much. It's still too much. From that angle, my overhead light is casting a hue onto me, and it doesn't look too good, but that's whatever.
If you saw this video, you already know I like the Anspur rapier. It is one of the...
Let's see if I can adjust it so my computer is less in frame. No, I'm going to have to leave it. Which I'm okay with, actually.
A few weapons that naturally does Scarlet Rot, and you can change out the Astral War, allowing for some really scary combinations.
Okay, we're going to take this segment. We got maintenance coming by, so I might have to pause the stream here in a minute. At least I hear them knocking on our neighbors. If they knock on our door, I'm going to be pausing the stream. I'll be right back. They didn't give us a notification, so it usually means that they probably won't be. So we're going to actually move this around a bit more than I was expecting to. I'm going to take this segment and bring it over here. Okay, this is the exact same segment except for a shorter version. Let's do that. Let's bring this here. I just want to test this out, see how it looks.
Welcome back, this is Jack. If you saw this...
There's a long pause between me starting to talk and me actually talking. I don't like that.
Welcome back, this is Jack. If you saw this video, you already know I like the Anspur rapier. It is one of the few weapons that naturally does Scarlet Rot, and you can change out the Astral War, allowing for some really scary combinations.
That actually worked out better than I expected. So let's go ahead and I'm going to create a folder for a different reason, mostly because reasons. We're going to import. I'm going to import in the thumbnail that I used for that previous video. So I've got, because I keep it saved. I don't really delete anything. And because I can also import a sound effect, because I really do like applying sound effects, just random sound effects to enunciate when something pops up on screen. And one of the most common ones I use is called social media pop alert. That or the bell, depending on what it is. So all right, now I just got to, I'm going to give it a bit of a, actually no, I'll leave it to right when I switch over.
If you saw this video, you already know I like the Anspur rapier.
Now I can go ahead and get rid of the thumbnail floating over my face.
It is one of the few weapons that naturally does Scarlet Rot, and you can change out the Astral War, allowing for some really scary combinations.
Okay, so that one I'm not. So I think I'm gonna stick with what I was just talking about. I'm going to now move this one over. I haven't even started putting in B-roll. Like, this is not even B-roll yet. You'll see B-roll.
Combination. One of the few Scarlet Rot weapons.
Okay, this is actually a duplicate then. What's this one then?
You saw this video.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, because I said that all in one big line.
I think I found my favorite version.
Okay, we're gonna actually, because originally this was gonna be where I flipped over, and I'm gonna keep it.
I think I found my favorite version of this build.
Okay, might add this into it. Now it's just me jigsawing it together before I start adding B-roll.
Of this build. If you add as your offhand weapon the Frozen Needle, it adds ice to the damage combination.
Uh-oh, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Oh. Anything I need to worry about?
combination. I think I found my favorite version of this build.
You know what? No, hang on. Originally, yeah, let's go back over here. If you don't want to mention it in chat, you can Discord it to me, and I will address it in Discord. Okay. Yeah, they're still knocking and saying maintenance, so they might come to me. Now, if I was smart, I could just overlay it, like put it up, put above it, and then just cut it and move it around as I want. But I'm not doing that because I'm not that smart. Also, I just thought of it. All right.
It does Scarlet Rot, and you can change out the Astral Ward, allowing for some really scary combination. I think I found.
Okay, I think I cut that one this one a little too soon because the. There we go. There we go. I think that would be a good spot to cut it over to.
Really scary combinations. Think I found my.
Okay, now we're going to do this.
Think I found my favorite version of it.
So what I just did was, I think this is supposed to be an L cut. I don't know. Now I move this one over.
If you add as your offhand weapon the Frozen Needle, it adds ice to the damage combination.
I'm not liking the fact that there's, like, I can't do anything about this yellow here, and then it flips back over to being really white. So next time I film like this, I need to make sure that the lighting is mo better. Or I can take advantage of the fact that they look so different to keep the viewer's attention. We'll see. Okay, so far...
It adds ice to the damage combination.
Cutting that right there.
So even following the original build,
there's that pause I do right there. Well, let me take a look at what it is. I don't think it'll show up on... There it is. Let's see what you got. The only thing I see is the one post you did about that we were co-streaming a little bit ago. Move my Discord over here, so if I have to check it there. So I didn't see anything. Yeah, all I see on your Twitter is when we were doing co-stream of Blood Hunt. Or is it on your original one, your personal one? Let me check that. Hang on. Because I was looking at your professional one. Let's see here. Following. Hang on. I might be able to do it this way. There it is. That's you. That's your original one. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can imagine. There's a lot of hatred going on around on Twitter right about now. With the abortion ban on its way and all that. Possibly on its way. There's still a chance it won't happen. And then a lot of anti-LGBTQ stuff going on. as always.
Worth noting, the frozen needle does not use smithing stones, instead uses somber smithing stones.
Okay, that's a transition in thought. So I think that is a good example of when I should switch back and forth when I transition between different thoughts. So we're going to try that out. Okay, we'll talk about it in Discord. Which reminds me, Mad Techie wants to kidnap you sometime either today or tomorrow for us to do some Destiny 2 because he wants to get the Galahorn Catalyst, and you need it as well.
It's the offhand weapon, frozen needle.
You all can see like my facial hair actually existing.
If you add... So even following the previous build...
And you can see I'm just doing the whole video like the side shot, just me like
So even following the previous build, you get to make some... Worth noting, the frozen needle cannot have its Ash of War changed. Worth noting,
yeah, you can see here me taking multiple takes to get the emotion right for me saying that. Well, let's see how this looks. Once again, it's flipping back and forth between that very white light.
Following the original build, it makes into a nice combo. Worth noting, the frozen needle cannot have its Ash of War changed, but it does take somber smithing stones instead of regular.
I think this one will stay the white light version.
Worth noting, the frozen needle does not use smithing stones, instead uses somber smithing stones, allowing you not to have competing...
You know what? No, I got a better way of doing that. Hang on. Because unfortunately the dialogue is too different that I can't just slap one in. So what we're going to do is this. Because I do say worth noting in both. And this is more meant to be a visual effect. We're going to do this. It's working out differently than I expected to. I'm using a lot more of the side shot. Just look at that odd face I'm making right there.
Worth noting, the frozen needle does not use smithing stones, instead uses somber smithing stones, allowing you not to have competing resources between the frozen needle and the Antspur rapier, because the Antspur rapier uses smithing stones.
We're going to bring that over like that.
Now that I've explained that, let's get to the build.
Okay, that is one of the cuts I was definitely gonna do because it was such a...
Now that I've explained that,
there we go. That's exactly the spot. And that's actually kind of what I was more trying to do with these side shots, is just me doing that extreme zoom in, catch your attention weirdness. Because I don't like the idea of the camera being static, or at least too static. Evil grows in the dark. There's a smarter way I could have done this. There we go.
now that I've explained that, let's get to the build.
There we go. That little cut was very good right there. I do like how that came out.
Bill, you can apply the Ash of War, the flames of the Red Mane.
Now I forgot to get the image for that. So I'm gonna see what I can do about. So I'm going to see if I can find a good image that I can borrow from the interwebs. There we go. This is one of the... actually, yeah, that one will do better. Hopefully it'll save correctly. It is a PNG. Good. All right. I will be able to toss it into the correct folder. Hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. And I'll be able to show the image of what the Ash of War is. And I also have a video of me showing what it does, so I don't have to explain it in the video. All right. So Elden Rings, build videos, Anspur version 2, save. All right. Lower that down. And now I'm just going to import in that image.
Let's get to the bill. You can apply the Ash of...
Yeah, it's really tiny, but it doesn't need to be big. There we go.
You can apply the Ash of War.
That's where I want my thing to pop up. And I'm going to add in the social media pop again. That way it's an audio cue for you to know that something just changed up on the screen.
Flames of the Red Mains.
There we go. All right.
To the Anspur Rapier. Which would give it fire. If you have a whetstone, you'll be able to change that secondary.
This is once again just a longer segment of me just doing one.
If you have a whetstone, you'll be able to change that secondary damage to whatever you want, such as bleed, poison, allowing for either burst damage or DOT, depending on what you want to do. The reason for the flame of...
Okay, I think I'm going to do the side shot on that one.
If you apply the Ash of War, Flames of the Red Mane to the Anspur Rapier, you get to... If you apply the... Though if you get the right whetstone, you can change it to really whatever you want.
Yeah, this is why I'm not using this segment right here.
An example being bleed, poison, whatever. Such as bleed or poison, allowing for additional DOT on top of your Scarlet Rot, or burst. The reason for the Flame of the Red Mains is twofold.
There we go. This is the segment I was looking for. Like, I'm not enjoying 100% the way I did the zoom in. I should have been a little further back. That way you can see more of my face when I'm doing it. But I don't hate it at the same time. I think I'll have to adjust for future videos on how to do that correctly. So see how this looks.
On what you want to do.
And give this a cut. Evil grows in me.
Want to do. The reason for the Flame of the Red Mains is twofold.
See right there. It does that quick little cut to that. And then I think this is the
reason for the Flame of the Red Mains is twofold. The Red Mains is twofold.
There we go. That's where I actually start talking about it correctly. Because I stuttered so many times. Alright, and then I get rid of this little segment, and then I can get rid of that. Bring that over.
The Flame of the Red Mains is twofold. First is it takes 2 to 3 hits to stagger most enemies.
And then I have a cut that I did right there where I say even bosses.
First, it has amazing stagger ability. able to knock most creatures in a taking 2 to 3 hits to leave most enemies in a staggered position.
This is the one I want. I don't think I'm going to do too much more, do this more often. I was sitting here thinking this would be a lot more fun to do with community, be able to see like how I do my editing so they can get ideas, give me their feedback and stuff like that, but it doesn't give me the same feeling I get when I do my sketches.
Enemies, even bosses.
That's the original even bosses.
In a vulnerable state, you're able to do your backstab or continuously attack them so you get to reapply your Scarlet Rot, Poison, Frost, Bleed, whatever you have done to this weapon combination. The second reason for the Flame of the Red Mains is it does fire damage, which removes the debuff of Frost once it is fully built up.
Right now I'm just trimming up this segment because I had repeated this line 50 times, and now I'm just going through and speeding it up because there's a lot of pauses in between sentences.
The reason you want to do that is because it'll allow you to rebuild it up and do that burst damage again.
Because I assume most people who'd be watching my videos don't have the attention span to... That's why I don't start with the welcome back to the channel like for 5 minutes before I ever do anything, because that's one of the things that always pisses me off with tutorials, where like everybody front loads a bunch of stuff and then they finally go, okay, here's what you need to do.
So you will have the burst damage of ice and possibly bleed if you really want to.
I might, I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't think I'm gonna do any more of the cutovers. I don't need to, and then the rest is gonna be just me doing a lot of B-roll. So I could probably just condense everything down because the B-roll is just gonna sit on top of it anyway. Yep. Alright, cool. And that's the start of the side angle. Let me double check, because that should be 28. Yeah, that's 28. Alright. So I can get rid of all the side angle stuff now. Cool. Alright. The rest is going to be me, but pretty much just applying some B-roll. Alright. How long has this been going? About 49 minutes? Alright. I'm actually doing pretty good. And now we get a kind of an idea. This is going to be about a 26-minute long video. That's not bad. Alright, let's start. Now I just need to pick up where I left off, since I already decided I'm not going to do any more of those transition overs like I was doing. Because I think I've probably hooked your attention.
You're able to do your backstab or continuously attack them so you get to reapply your Scarlet Rot, Poison, Frost, Bleed, whatever you have done to this weapon combination. The second reason for the Flame of...
Alright, now the reason why I have this B-roll is it has this very specific purpose. Oh, I need to adjust the... Now the good news is I actually don't need the audio for this. Let's scale to frame size. Because I actually recorded a much higher frame size than I should. And I do it intentionally, so I can do exactly this. Alright, so, and I can actually just get rid of all the audio, because I'm not going to be using the audio for anything. If I decide I want it back, I can always get it back, because this doesn't require me to sync the audio up with my actions. Here's a good segment where I actually stun a Pumpkinhead, which I don't think I've ever been able to pull off. Almost dead, but I stunned him. We got that piece of B-roll of me stunning somebody. All right, we're gonna go see what else I can, what other good little segments I did. Okay, here's me actually like picking a fight with several people. I think I got a better one in my second B-roll. Here's me stunning a troll. Which, if you've ever fought a troll, being able to stun them is such a blessing. Pull that one up so I can see it, and then that's where that one ends. Then I go into B-roll 2. I actually made B-roll 2 because I thought I had accidentally deleted the original B-roll, and then I found it, and I was like, oh, okay, well. I'm going to take this whole segment where I'm just moving through the camp. Alright, we're going to take both those. Control C, Control B. Yeah. Then I'm going to take both and just rip it up there.
The Asher War, the flames of the Redmans, to the Antspur Rapier, which would give it fire. If you have a whetstone, you'll be able to change that secondary damage to whatever you want.
You see a zit on my forehead.
Poison, allowing for either burst damage or DOT, depending on what you want to do. The reason for the Flame of the Redmanes is twofold. First is it takes 2 to 3 hits to...
Okay, now this is where I can take this B-roll of me staggering the Pumpkinhead.
Takes 2 to 3 hits to stagger most enemies.
And I'm going to... Now here's something that's really good with Adobe. I can do this, and then I'm going to mark out. I don't know if... I honestly don't know if other software has it. But me doing that mark in, mark out... that's not what I wanted. I'm going to cancel. Speed. That doesn't look right. Okay, I'm going to undo. Hang on. Yeah, that doesn't look right. So I'm going to put that there, then I'm going to go here. Speed. Okay, that looks right. I was trying to adjust the speed to the wrong thing. 340. There. So it's going to slightly speed up the video.
First is it takes 2 to 3 hits to stagger most enemies, even bosses. In a vulnerable state, you're able to do your backstab or continuously attack them so you get...
And then I can bring over this one if I really, really want.
Even bosses. In a vulnerable state, you're able to do your backstab or continuously attack them so you get to reapply your Scarlet Rot, Poison.
This is not sitting on it right. I need to adjust it. I need to stretch it out. Cool thing is I can actually just stretch it out a lot and get away with it.
And Frost, Bleed, whatever you have done to this weapon combination. The second reason for the Flame of the Redmanes is it does fire damage, which removes the debuff of Frost once it is fully built up. The reason you want to do that is because it'll allow you to rebuild it up and do that burst damage again. So you will have the burst damage of Ice and possibly Bleed if you really want to. There is a vague third reason. Thrusting weapons are not really good at dealing with groups of enemies. However, with Flame of the Redmanes, you're able to hit a burst of people and therefore able to stagger them, hopefully. If you prefer instead, you can use both in your main hand and switch between the two depending on what damage you...
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to take this video, and I'm going to just do this by 200%, 2 times speed. At short, I'll be moving a lot faster, but it makes it a lot more cinematic. So,
There is a vague third reason. Thrusting weapons are not really good at dealing with groups of enemies. However, with Flame of the Red Mage, you're able to hit a burst of people and therefore able to stagger them, hopefully. If you prefer instead, you can use both in your main hand and switch between the two depending on what damage you want to apply, and then have a shield in your offhand. And as it is a thrusting weapon, you actually never need to come out from behind your shield and able to do some good counter thrusts. This one roughly uses the same talisman as the previous video to buff up your damage and make it mo better. However, you can add on top of it some of the assassin daggers, as you will stagger them a lot and be able to do backstab, so you can get both some health regain and some FP regain. If you have suggestions for this build, there is that comment section down below. You can leave a comment. If you also think Let Me Solo Her should be a boss in a future game, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe so I can see you in the next video. Take care.
There we go. And that was it. That's pretty much the gist of the video I did. Now, I could probably like spend a couple hours like really fine-tuning like the cuts between scenes. I'm not going to do that. I just don't have the motivation right now. But yeah, that's kind of the process I do for editing a video. It took me about an hour, and I got like a 2-hour-and-a-half video, or 2-minute-and-a-half video. There's a lot more stuff I could do to tweak. There's a lot more audio stuff I could tweak if I really, really wanted to dive into it. I don't want to. Pure and simple, I don't want to. But yeah. Do appreciate everybody for being here. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I'll probably still stream in the afternoon. It'll probably be a game of some kind. I don't know what it is. I'll let y'all know when that happens. Most importantly, see y'all in the next one.